Let's see. July. All right. Thank you so much for joining. I have to get close to the screen because I'm nearsighted. Okay, so this is a follow-up for the previous live stream. So we were talking about the presidential election forecast here in 2024, and we're going to continue. We looked at the state of Pennsylvania and saw basically that Pennsylvania was, according to Real Clear Politics, was leaning towards slightly towards Trump. But it's well within the margin of error and even less than 4%. I'm sorry, less than 3%. That's less than 1%. My bad. Let's see here if we can get out of here. Okay, so I'm having a difficult time here. Here we go. So where are we? Yeah, so this is the map that I want to show you guys here that we were looking at. Right over here. Oh, it's not coming out. What is this nonsense? Oh. Here we go. I think I accidentally hit an ad. So this is what the map would look like if this aggregate of the Real Clear Politics was correct. That's what it would look like. And I had talked about how Iowa had been polled in Harris's advantage by 4 points by the Des Moines Register. So if Trump wins Pennsylvania, this is what the electoral map would look like. So we're just taking a look at the swing states, and we're going to take a look at now the next swing state on this list here. Well, we'll just go down here and we'll just do Michigan. Let's see what happens when we bring up Michigan. And we talked about the problems with some of these polls. We just look at all the polling that has more than 3% margin of error. So you have here 1. This is giving Harris a lead by 2. This is 2. Washington Post giving Harris a lead by 1. And really, this one also 3.5, the Marist poll. And this one 4.0. So 4.9, the Susquehanna poll. And you see the sample size is very small, 400, 500 over here. I mean, you can't really take these with a grain of salt. So this one's giving Harris the edge by less than 1%. In the past, the other thing that I forgot to look at in the Pennsylvania one, I want to bring back the Pennsylvania one again, is that in the last 2 elections, they've gone Democrat. So we want to take that into account as well. Okay, so in Michigan, the last 2 elections, and again, I apologize for getting close to the camera, but I'm nearsighted. They've gone to Biden in 2020 and Clinton in 2016 in their favor. Okay. So, and this one they have Harris up. And if we look at the polls that have a high sample size, they're giving Harris here the advantage. And this one gives Trump the advantage by 1. This one is Harris by 1. This one Harris by 3. and this one, but this was about a month ago. This one gave even Harris a 4 point lead and well outside the margin of error. This is Quinnipiac poll here. And this is really the only one where Trump came out on top in a larger, well, this one and this one here, and the other one too. So we'll on the map here, we're gonna go back to 20. We're gonna give it to Michigan to the we're going to say that it's leaning Democrat. And you look at the map right there, boom. Harris is just 23 points away from victory. If the Real Clear Politics poll are accurate. So let's go back here. Let's go to Wisconsin and see what happens here. And in Wisconsin, they've also gone Democrat in the last two elections here. And this one's also giving Harris the lead, but barely, razor thin margin. And again, we want to look at the polls, give more weight to the polls that have a higher sample size. We don't have the margin of error here. But here on this one, 3.4 margin of error. It's a pretty large sample size. It's giving Harris the advantage by 2. And yeah, that's about it. Because the other ones here are see, this here CNN USA. It's Marquette. I mean, you can't really take these at face value because they can go anywhere. They didn't really interview that many people to really get a good sample size of what would actually happen if the state of Wisconsin voted. Well, by the way, most of the, not most of the people, but about 72 million people have already voted according to NBC. So let's just say that for the argument's sake, we're going to give this to the Democrats, and it's just leaning Democrat. And you would have 257 electoral votes to Kamala Harris and 232 to Trump. Let's give this back. Let's say the Republicans got this, Iowa. Kamala Harris would still be leading 251 to 238, even if we gave Iowa to Harris. We're going to leave this blank right now because I'm going to get to Iowa later there. Okay, so which one? I want to go to Georgia. Actually, let's go to North Carolina better. And in the last two elections, they've gone Trump 2016, and they swung to Biden in 2020. So this one's giving 1.5 point advantage to Trump here. And again, these polls here, CNN, the WRAL poll has a very high margin of error, but this one's giving Harris the advantage. So you look at these polls here, they're almost all of them are giving the advantage to Trump. I'm not going to get into whether they're accurate or not. These could well be incorrect, and they could actually, because 3% margin of error, that could mean they could be off by 3%, and so really Harris could be pull off North Carolina. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, Trump gets North Carolina. Let's see what would happen in the map here. So we'll say leaning. So then we have a very close race, and then if we gave this to, it would still be razor thin even if we gave Iowa to Trump. Okay, and then and if we gave it to the Democrats, that this would be the result there so far. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go to Georgia. Okay. Okay, so this is taking quite a while to load up here. And again, we're only looking at the swing states. And this one's giving Trump the advantage. here in Georgia. In the last election, Biden was able to pull off a barely a victory in Georgia, and Georgia has been a red state for a long time for Republicans. So it's quite remarkable that the Democrats actually gained won two Senate seats in the state of Georgia. Warnock and I forget the other guy's name, the white senator who's still there. Um, so yeah, and then you had Trump won Georgia by 4%, and almost all of these polls, except the New York Times poll, is giving the race to Trump. But again, some of these are within the margin of error. This poll here, it could be wrong. It could actually, really be Harris winning. And even this one's way off. 4.7% is giving Trump the lead by one. And these also, they're just barely giving him a 1 or 2 point lead. This Quinnipiac poll, but this is old. This is like about a month old already. So who knows? But if most of the voters have already made up their minds in Georgia, this could be accurate, so he could maybe have, but it's the only, it could be what they call an outlier, meaning, hey, they probably did everything that they statistically or scientifically correct. It's just that for whatever reason, this poll is just inaccurate because it just stands out uh, from the other polls, except this one here, the Rasmussen poll here. So it could be an outlier. So we're not sure, but let's say for the sake of argument that hey, the Republicans win Georgia. They're still 264. They're still short six. And actually, this would give them this would hand over the rate. Now, this is according to Real Clear Politics. Okay, but you're looking at the sample sizes. The sample sizes are very small in those polls that they're looking at. Let's take a look at Nevada. Yeah. And I apologize for this is taking a while for this thing to load here. So let's in the state of Nevada, we have God, oh, this internet. They're giving Trump a 1 point lead. Then it's within the margin of error. Um, these margin of errors are just very high in the last couple of polls. New York Times gives Harris a lead by 3 in the latest poll that they dropped today. So who knows what will happen here in Florida? Because some of these polls here, you look at this one. I'm sorry, no, the one here in the bottom, it's about a month old. So we really don't know. And this one has a 5% margin of error. This Bloomberg poll and it's giving a Harris a 1 point lead on that one. But again, we don't know. Um, it's about a month old, and who knows? Maybe people have changed their minds, or the maybe the 3% have already made up their mind. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that it's going Republican. So that would give them the victory there if this scenario actually played out. I kind of doubt that they're going to win North Carolina, and I have my doubts about Georgia and Pennsylvania. I also have doubts that they will pull it off. Because remember, when we looked at the results there in a Real Clear Politics, they were within the margin of error. They're giving him the race by less than 1%. Let's take a look at Arizona. That's the last swing state that we should take a look at, and this is giving Trump the race here, clearly. And we're gonna take a look at these numbers again. Arizona is interesting because they have a Senate race that's probably going to go Democrat. Okay. let's see, we have Iowa here. No, they don't even have, so they don't even have Iowa here as a swing state, so we could take a look at. But yeah, so this is what the map would look like if the Republicans pulled off a victory. So they would need to win these states here in the southeast. They would have to flip Pennsylvania. They would be flipping basically these states: Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. They would be this a path to victory basically assumes that Trump is able to flip four states that voted Democrat in the last election. Again, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. I have doubts that he's going to be able to pull that off in this election. And Pennsylvania, I have serious doubts that this scenario is actually going to play out. Okay, great. So that's going to be it for this very brief live stream. And this is, according to Real Clear Politics, this is what the race might look like as the results come in on Tuesday. I wanted to show you guys something else here. So there's the so then this is why we need to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. The MEC came up with a new poll, and it's national polls giving Harris a lead, basically 49 to 44. But again, they're looking at among registered voters. So it's people who are registered to vote, but not everybody who's registered to vote actually comes out to vote. Okay. And notice that they tell you here it's within a margin of error. But they're saying it's a clear shift from July's poll where Trump was ahead by 2 points before President Biden's exit. And here is a graph, a visual graph of what the NBC results there, 49 to 44. And they looked at some of the polling and they broke it down into different groups, socioeconomic groups, and so forth. So we'll take a look more about that later. But apparently, some of the mainstream media is now reporting that Kamala Harris is surging in the polls. I have doubts about this too, because I have a feeling that Harris has been really leading all this time, and that the polling has been off and giving more weight to Donald Trump than Harris. And because she has the candidate who's representing the party in power has a lot of systemic advantages that Trump does not have at the moment. Okay, so that'll be all for right now. We'll do another live stream short later today. And thank you so much for listening. Please uh, um, like the live stream and also be on the lookout for the next one. Thank you so much, guys. And why is this not playing? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Oh, I see this is why.